Yes, people, what's happening? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing very well. I've just seen Manchester United beat Leicester 3-0 at the King Power Stadium. Sorry, Ruud. I hate it had to be you. Absolutely adore Ruud van Nistelrooy, but delighted that Manchester United got a comfortable victory in the league here today. And now we're what? I think are we 4 games unbeaten in the league, which again, that's weird for Manchester United to say this season. We haven't been able to say it too much. We're climbing to dizzying heights of 13th in the table. But on a serious note, the performance against Sociedad away, the performance against Arsenal in the second half, the performance against Sociedad at home, and again today, whilst it's only a small sample size of games, 4-game run, and we obviously lost against Fulham prior to that in the Cup, which was really disappointing. United are starting to show signs under Ruben Amorim that the players are getting to grips with what he's doing. But before we get stuck into the game, I want to talk about something that has left me a little bit gutted, and that's the young man, Aiden Heaven. He was doing excellent for Manchester United. Since his introduction, he's taken his chance really well. He looks calm, composed. In the game today, he was making some fantastic blocks and making sure Leicester never got a goal in the game, couldn't get a grip of the game, couldn't get their crowd up for the game. And then he goes off just after half-time with what looks like a really, really bad injury now. I don't know what's the update on that at the moment, but he knew it was bad immediately. He called over to the bench. He was taken off on a stretcher. It's not what you want to see. And if the fears are what it seemed to be, and it looks as bad as it is, his season could be over. Now, hopefully we receive some news that it's not as bad as it looks, but really disappointing, man. Man United fans can't have anything nice at the moment, can we? Without something cropping up which kind of leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. And that Aiden Heaven injury really did do that. Now, Toby Collier came on for him. We had to shift the back line. We put Mazraoui into right centre back. We put Collier kind of at right wing back, and I think Collier did well there. You know, he's a good lad. He fights for everything. He keeps it simple on the ball. Toby Collier represents himself quite well when he gets an opportunity, but just gutted that Aiden Heaven had that injury, because I'm sure it would have saw the game out. And you know, you look at someone with much more experience than him, in Victor Lindelof, who's having a stinker today. And I know we won 3-0, and you don't want to dwell on the negatives, but I didn't think he was very, very good at all. And I've just looked at live scores, the flash scores it says it was 7.4. That's why you should never trust those apps, because they're always a little bit dodgy. And no way it was like a 7.5 out of 10 today. It was real poor. But Aiden Heaven, magnificent before his injury, real shame. Matthijs de Ligt, he made one block in the game where it looked like, I think it was either at 1-0 or 2-0. It looked like Leicester were going to get a goal back into it, but he made an outstanding block. I was ready to see the net ripple and Leicester City have a goal, and he was there to make sure it never happened. And I've been on this from the start of the season. Matthijs de Ligt has been a great signing. He's a leader. He fights for everything. He's a proper warrior. He's good on the ball. He was making some fantastic passes through the lines there today. He's got that pass in his locker as well when he switches it to the flanks. I think de Ligt will go down as a very good signing for Manchester United. And I know we're 13th in the league. We've not had a very good season, and it's easy to kind of be negative about everything. But I do think de Ligt signing has been a positive one, as has Aiden Heaven. At £1 million, the compensation fee we paid for him, incredible. But he has picked up that injury. Really, really gutted for him, man. It's a shame. But then we look at the positives of today. Rasmus Højlund finally gets a goal. I think it was 22 goals without a game, 22 games without a goal, and his finish was fantastic. I thought he had taken too long on it. I thought he had taken it too wide. I thought, you know, he had started to like tighten up a little bit and get a little bit worried about the chance maybe passing him by. They also looked like he could have slipped it to Diogo Dalot, and you know, if he wasn't feeling as confident as he was after that performance he had the other night in Europe, he probably does pass it to Diogo Dalot. But he went for it and he scored a fantastic goal. It was a great finish across the goalkeeper into the side netting. Fantastic goal by Rasmus Højlund to open things up. And then we thought we had the perfect 1-2. Another man that's been on a goal drought for a while, Alejandro Garnacho. He scores a goal. It was disallowed for offside. Now when I say it was marginal offside decision for Alejandro Garnacho. It would have meant Rasmus Højlund got a goal and an assist, but unfortunately it was ruled out for offside. We weren't to fear though. Garnacho did get his goal, and it was Bruno Fernandes with the assist. poking it through to him. Garnacho with a great finish into the side that he was at. You know, he just hits it straight really, and the pace beats the goalkeeper. Fantastic finish by Alejandro Garnacho. Would have been easy for him to be disappointed that he didn't get that goal earlier and it'd been ruled out for offside and his head to drop a little bit, but he kept going and he made sure he got a goal. And Bruno Fernandes added another goal to his continuous growing set of goals for Manchester United. I think he's got around 31 goals and assists for us this season. 16 goals, 15 assists. He could be on for a 40 goal and assist campaign in one of the worst Manchester United seasons we've ever seen. Bruno Fernandes is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I said it when Roy Keane dug him out and he kind of went for him a little bit. I thought it was harsh. And I remember making the comment at the time that Roy Keane would have loved to have played with someone like Bruno Fernandes because he never gives up, he keeps going, and he's got bags of quality as well. He's someone that never misses a game. Even when he's injured, he'll play on and play through the pain barrier. I love Bruno Fernandes, and at times he gets frustrated and he gets emotional, but we know why that is, because we've not been good enough. And it'll be a real shame if he doesn't get a major trophy in his time at Man United, because he's often just stepping up when nobody else is and grabbing goals and grabbing assists and making things happen for Manchester United, and he deserves so much more respect than maybe what he gets at the moment. I know Man United fans generally absolutely adore Bruno Fernandes, but there's still some of them that think we'd be better without him. They're all fucking idiots, to be totally honest with you. Bruno Fernandes is class. And if he played for any other team in the world, or a team that was going for trophies and that, he'd be one of those that's continuously being up there high in the list for Ballon d'Ors and stuff. It's because he's been playing for Manchester United. We've been stinking the gaff out more often than not. The only thing is we've been a cup team really in his time here. And whilst we've won a few trophies, you know, he deserves one of those big ones. And some will say you get what you deserve. But he hasn't been the issue at Manchester United. And if anything, he's saved us from embarrassing ourselves on a number of occasions. Bruno Fernandes, I absolutely adore you. But today, it is just that sour taste from that Aiden Heaven injury, because between now and the end of the season, like, the league games don't mean anything. We want to see positives. We want to see positives for the future. And Aiden Heaven was looking like one of those now. At the end of the game, we had Toby Collier on the pitch. We had Harry Amass on the pitch, who handled himself quite well. And we had Chido Obi on the pitch as well. So it's nice to see us introducing some of the youth to the team. And I've been saying it for a long time this season, that the youth is the only way out for us out of this mess. You know, getting good young players in and promoting the good young players in our academy, because we're in a mess PSR wise. We can't spend huge amounts of money. We're probably only going to be able to make 3 or 4 signings in the summer. And the youth are the players that are going to get us out of this mess. It's that simple. The likes of Aiden Heaven, Harry Amass, Chido Obi, Toby Collier, they can help with their contributions to the first team squad whilst we're, you know, navigating our way. And who knows, maybe stake a claim to be a first team player for themselves. But Aiden Heaven definitely on the way to that. I just hope that that injury is not a serious one, but it looks like it could be a season ender. But overall, fantastic day. The away fans had a nice one, singing about Jamie Vardy, giving it the Rude every time, which I absolutely loved. Yeah, it's just a shame we had that injury, man. Buzzing for Rasmus though, buzzing for Garnacho to get their goals, and of course buzzing for Bruno Fernandes. We need to keep this going now, because whilst the league campaign is over for us, we've obviously got Lyon coming up. The first leg's on the 10th of April, I think it is. So we've got some, you know, big games coming up in Europe, which we need to win. Could put us through to the semi-finals. And we've got some tricky games coming up in the league as well. We've got Forest away, City at home, Newcastle away. I think the City and Newcastle games are either side of that first leg against Lyon. So we need to keep it up, but we're also losing players due to injury all the time, which isn't really helping things. It was nice to see Mason Mount back on the bench. Didn't get brought on today. I think the manager's probably just going to take his time with him and ease him into proceedings a little bit. But we need to get some of our players back, man, because they are dropping like flies at the minute. But it is good to see those players, you know, that we've been expecting to start every game, because we've got no other options, sticking it out and getting a goal. And I think Garnacho's performances have been improving recently, and he deserved his goal. And whilst I don't think Rasmus Højlund's had much good performances this season, I think he was better against Sociedad the other night. and much, much better today. So hopefully you can take that confidence into the end of the season. But 3-0 for United, a clean sheet, goals for players that desperately needed them, and of course Bruno Fernandes, Al Capitan, stepping up with another goal and assist as well. 31 goal contributions this season. He is phenomenal. Yeah, it's just that Aiden Heaven injury, man. I genuinely hope he's good, or it's not as bad as it looked. Anyway, let us know. By the way, how did Liverpool let Newcastle with a trophy? It's fucking mental, isn't it, that? To be fair, their fans must be buzzing. Yeah, we kind of take it for granted a little bit. Like, we can win a cup and no one really cares because we're not winning the league and Champions League. Obviously, expectations are higher at Manchester United. But, you know, must be crazy for their fans. Most of them wouldn't have been alive to have seen the last time they won a trophy. So, fair play to their fans, but embarrassing from Liverpool. How can you allow them to win their first trophy in 7 years? I'm glad, though, because all that talk after the PSG game and the Newcastle game kind of silence now. Remember, it was all Mo Salah's the greatest player the Premier League's ever seen, Van Dijk this and that and all this. Shh, please. Although they are winning the league, innit? That's depressing as well. Anyway, United got to make sure we become Europa League champions of the world, and we got to keep up these performances. Anyway, see you in a bit.